Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cosmic Cosmic Tea. So this is what I'm going to riff on today. We are talking about beliefs in business, our programming, and how to reprogram that. So my personal example is I often wake up or reflect on my to-do list, reflect on my business, where it stands, what's going on, and the thought comes up, I'm not doing enough. And with that one thought, a lot of feelings are released. Not released, but a lot of feelings become present in my body. So I'm going to walk you through how to process this belief that might be limiting you and your creativity and your excitement in your business, creating. And on the other side of that is your cosmic biz. Now, one of the reasons that I named the all access pass membership, I don't actually know what I'm calling it completely. But it's cosmic biz. It's this idea that there's a logical mind and the cosmic mind. And when we take physical action, so 3D action, and we apply 3D strategy like adding a CTA, a call to action in your caption, or learning to sell on your Instagram stories, or building an email list, or marketing your first freebie. Whatever it is, if we're taking action from the logical, dense belief systems that really we're so conditioned to adhere to in online business and just the world, the matrix, society. If we're taking action in our business from those beliefs and those frequencies, I'm not going to say, it's not going to work. But I can almost guarantee that over time, you're all of a sudden going to be like, whoa, my nervous system is fried and I don't know where my creativity or excitement or joy went. And when those aspects are nowhere to be found and we're making moves in our business, things aren't going to flow. And I imagine that you beginning to share your work online, whether it's your artwork, your services, your workshops, whatever it might be, when you start to share your spiritual teachings, yourself, your whatever online, you're doing it to create a new matrix, a new vortex, a new system. You're doing it to open new channels of prosperity and connection and expression, right? So if we go into creating that and building the foundations of that based on, again, these logical, lower density frequencies that we learned from conditioning or looking around us or trying to follow the rules, it's not going to reflect back at you what you're wanting it to. And so often women come to me after a few years in business and just really hate what happened, not hate what they've created, but then, women have come to me and said, I hate my business right now. Where did the spark go? Where did the joy go? And that's where we got to go really, really, really back to the beginning. Those thoughts, the thoughts that we have regularly, the beliefs that we have. And when we pair this with the quantum inner child work, the kundalini yoga technology, we're programming it at the deepest level in our nervous systems, in our bodies, in the actions that we take. So that's kind of the why behind this work that I'm sharing with you. And I'm definitely going to add this to the training of the pre-work in Sell Your Story, because the pre-work in Sell Your Story is reprogramming the subconscious belief that you're not doing enough, that you're not doing it right, before I even teach you how to tell your story in a format that sells, that converts, that, you know, your brand story to sell your work and whatnot, and connect and whatever. If I give you strategy and templates and all of the sales info without the energetics, the nervous system, the starseed stuff that I firmly believe is the most important, then I don't think you're going to like it. Like, you're just going to spiral. So let's get back to this thought. Okay. I am not doing enough. Is it true? And I also want to say part of this sequence, like a part of it, is based on the work of Byron Katie. Go look her up. Her book, Loving What Is, totally changed my life. If there was one spiritual guru, mindset, healing, whatever book, just one that I had to read for the rest of my life, it would be a Byron Katie book. I'm not kidding. If I had to choose one teacher in the whole world ever to just only consume her teachings, it would be Byron Katie. Okay? It is like the pinnacle of applying non-duality to the thought process. And actually, before I get in, this is funny. You'll appreciate this. So, a little sidestep. I'll totally get back to the I'm not doing enough, but you'll appreciate the story. So many years ago, I was watching Byron Katie on YouTube. I discovered her before I discovered kundalini, so like late teens, early 20s. And there was this, oh my God, it's so funny. And I was reflecting on it yesterday. There was this woman whose partner called her, I think, a whore. Okay? And she was sitting with Byron Katie, and she goes, my partner shouldn't call me a whore. And one of the processes through the work of Byron Katie is at the end, you turn around the thought or belief. And so it turns around to, my partner should call me a whore. And of course you're like, what the fuck? Like, no, they shouldn't. And of course, this isn't to say, oh yeah, you should be with someone who berates you. All it's doing is investigating all of the facets of possibility and to ease the reaction within you so that you can see the situation more clearly and take action from a place of self-love, self-understanding. So just release some of the projection. And so the woman goes, and mind you, she'd been talking to Byron Katie for like an hour. So she's softening, she's laughing. It's like, whoa. And the thought is like, my partner should call me a whore. And she's like, you know what? I am a whore. She goes, I am a whore. I sleep with him. And in exchange, you know, he's the breadwinner. He does this and that. And it's just this laughing. She's like, oh my God, I've always been a whore. I sleep with men in hopes of getting married and having a baby. Like, there's this exchange. Okay, so it's not to say like, it's just acknowledging labels and our mental fixations and whatnot. And I kind of laughed yesterday at this because I was thinking of my partnership with Kenny and how this is something I haven't talked about very much. But I mean, the truth is, because of my relationship with Kenny and our partnership agreement, right? There's agreements. we have the parts of our relationship that are agreed upon in some sense, like, okay, we're romantic, we're doing sexy time. There's like levels of affection that I'm not giving to other people and vice versa. So it's an agreement. And Kenny makes more money than me. He makes a lot more money than I do. And at this point in our relationship, now that we're getting engaged, we're going to get married, we're looking for a home, we're going to have children, like, it's agreed upon, it's set. I have a safety net that I've never had before, where if my business implodes and I don't make enough money, I'm not going to lose my car. I'm still going to have really amazing food to eat. I'm still going to have a roof over my head. There's no risk to children. If my dog needs to go to the vet and for some reason I can't cover it, I have a partner who our finances are combined. And there's some internal shame in there because I'm like, oh my gosh, I've always had this identity of like independent woman and entrepreneur boss babe, and like I could do it on my own. And then just the last couple years, now we've been together 5 years now, but the last couple years, my nervous system has started to like heal so much. It's like, oh my God, I've never wanted to do it on my own. I've just had to. And there's a lot of shame, in the media and society of like, I don't know, women depending on men or just, it's nonstop narrative. But my point being, I was laughing to myself yesterday because I was like, wow, I'm a whore. And I thought of the Byron Katie thing and I just laughed because it's like, yeah, like there's an agreement that he's got my back. And I pull my weight, we've agreed that, our finances are combining. So it means that when we buy a home, it's going to be in his name. Well, not in his name. My name is on it, but financially it's all him. And we want to be able to build a life where my income supports the taxes, the groceries, the childcare, because I want to be able to stay home. And that is one of the reasons that I even started my business, because I was nannying so much and out of the house so much. And having been a nanny for a while, I did realize for me, I want to be home. I want to raise my kid as much as I can. So I better start now figuring out how to do that and getting online. So that's something that I've never shared. And I know this was kind of a long-winded pivot, but I do feel like it's important to be transparent because I'm not the boss bitch coach online who's like helping women make $100,000 a month, retire their husbands, or like raise kids alone. Like my nervous system, really burnt out, from the pressure and the fact that I called in a man who is emotionally supportive and stable and has contributed to me feeling more safe financially is a big deal. And it's a big part of the behind the scenes of my business that I think is important to share. I am operating in a dual income situation, right? So that does give me more security, and I'm able to operate under less pressure. Okay. So let's process the thought, and I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. Is that true? Yes or no? So my inner critic says yes, and then it goes on and on and on. You lazy bitch. It's because you smoke pot. It's because you don't do this enough or that enough. You're not doing it like so-and-so, on and on and on. My inner critic, the logical mind, the ego says, yes, oh my God, do more, what the fuck? Now my inner cosmic creator says, No, not true at all. Investigate, right? So I'm not doing enough. We're going to investigate this thought. And you can do this with any thought. I'm not doing enough. Where do I feel this thought in my body? So I'm going to pause, place my hand on my heart. Where do I feel this in my body? My heart rate goes up. I feel tensions in my neck and shoulders. Oh my gosh, my mind just starts to really spiral. I feel stuck. I want to escape. I want to get up and do busy work. I want to go fold laundry. I want to do stuff that has nothing to do with my business. Because I'm sitting here, I'm at the computer, I'm going to work. And immediately it's oh my God, I'm just not doing enough. There's no way I can even start to do enough based on this belief. So feelings, fear, sadness, anxiety, stuck, anxious. So I'm going to sit with that, just feel the feelings, where they're coming up, what they are. Now this is where I weave in my quantum inner child process. So now tune into the feelings, tune into these frequencies, these energies, these entanglements that the thought, I'm not doing enough, stir up. And allow these feelings to guide you intuitively to a version of yourself, past version of yourself, inner child, young adult, who's feeling those feelings, who's sharing maybe the belief that you're not enough, you're not doing enough, or what's the spin on this belief? You're lazy, you'll never succeed, you're not productive enough, there's something wrong with you. One thought, right, one belief can have so many things attached to it. So it doesn't matter where you start, it just matters that you do start to investigate. So who is she? Who is this version of me? What is she afraid of? She's, like I said, afraid of failing. She's afraid of being a burden on everyone around her, and on and on and on, right? So now sit with this version of yourself. What do you need? What does she really need right now? And this is a meditative part where I want you to communicate. Close your eyes, focus on Ajna, your third eye center, and communicate. See her. What is she wearing? What's going on? Is there anyone around? What is the situation? What is she afraid of? Does she need a hug? Does she need to be told that she's enough? This is the work. Because I tell you, it is, if we avoid this part, then our logical mind, right, our dense mind, is going to go to the finite experiences and think that's what we need to fulfill this. Whether it's the 10K month strategy or the new shiny coach, the new course that'll fix it all for you, or the long ass work day where you get it all done, you just pump it out of urgency. Now that's not what you actually need. Of course, there's value in taking action. You know that I love that. I love that in this reality, action creates materialization. So action is a part of manifestation, but it's a lot fucking less than we're conditioned to believe, right? So spend time in that space, giving the aspect of yourself what they really need instead of looking elsewhere. Because that's how we inadvertently abandon our inner child in the pursuit of just fitting in with the matrix and doing it right, not getting in trouble, blah, blah, blah. So that's where we go retrieve that fragment. And simultaneously, we're untangling these entanglements in the emotional field. So visually, when I see the energetics, I can see the I'm not doing enough and all of those beliefs and emotions in a field, and I can see like what chakra it's like kind of affecting the most, situations, blah, blah, blah. But regardless, doesn't really matter what I see. The point is what you're seeing, what you're experiencing, and how you're processing this. So the next step is now put yourself in the situation in which you started the thought in the first place. So for me, it's waking up in the morning and just looking at my to-do list, like aware that there's work to do. Who would I be in that moment without the thought, I'm not doing enough? Who would I be? Who would I be? I'd feel more relaxed. And I want you to breathe when you get to this part. Who would you be without the thought, without the belief, without the entanglements? Wow, I would feel like I already did enough just for showing up. And that's actually a part of the reprogramming in the first module of Sell Your Story, part of the Cosmic Biz All Access Pass is if I show up and I share my work, my spiritual work, my art, my creativity in some way today on the internet, whether it's a podcast, a caption, a Good Morning Monday sticker, soft sell, it's always enough. It's always enough. There's no question in a different frequency timeline, right? Which is my goal, is to kind of move into that with everybody. Create a new timeline and tap into that. Who would you be without the belief? I'd feel creative and excited to work on the sales page for Cosmic Biz because Early Bird opens next week. I'd be excited to show up with my stories. I would have more energy, right? So you can see the difference just in dismantling a thought. And I very much believe doing this, that's my garage opening and closing because Kenny is doing I don't know what, but anyway, getting this to paper, pencil to paper, is really helpful. So who would you be without the thought? How would you create without the thought that you're not doing enough? How would you speak to clients without the thought that you're never doing enough? What kind of content would you create without the belief that you're not enough or you're not doing enough? It changes everything. And so you can see if we're taking action from the belief, I'm not doing enough, it's unaligned action because it's trying to compensate for a belief that's not even real, that belief in itself is a frequency that is so contradictive of the timeline you're trying to get on with the action. It's not going to work. It's going to keep you in a loop. You get what I'm saying here? This is where I start to tingle and I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking energetic expert. That's my ego. But either way, whatever. You get what I'm saying. So this part with the Byron Katie piece, that I don't do all the time, but I'm going to do it now just for the sake of doing it. The turnaround is I am doing enough. I am doing enough. And we look at this turnaround, so the opposite of the original thought, I am doing enough. Is this true? Is this as true or more true than the original belief? Well, yeah. Especially if I'm dedicated to the reprogramming. I'm always doing enough. So you can see that the turnaround of the initial projection is very often truer and more in alignment with your desires and the way you want to feel when you take action and create in your business than the original statement. And that turnaround statement comes with a different frequency. So the actions you take from I'm enough, I'm always doing enough, I'm like great as I am, that action's going to have way more momentum from the starseed perspective, which is what I'm here for. Here to glitch the matrix with my starseeds, with my sensitive, creative starseeds. So I hope this helped. I hope you're having a beautiful experience. And if you're not, that's really fine. I get it. If you have interest or any excitement about coming into the Cosmic Biz annual class pass, keep a heads up, keep your eye out on my Instagram stories, your emails, wherever you like to connect. And early bird opens. Oh my gosh, what is the date? May 13th to the 17th will be a special early bird price. And then I go into regular pricing. So if you want to save a bit, if you're eager to just be in and start consuming all of the past content, so all of the Starseed Sanctuary, the belief stuff that you need for business, the kundalini, though every workshop I've ever done, every class, blah, 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 all of it, and everything I create during the 12 months that you have your annual pass, which is going to be in the realm of business, then hop in and reach out to me if you have any questions. I love you, and I assure you that you are doing enough, and you are enough. Bye.